the time to watch this video. Um, we're going to have some changes here in our science classes for biology with my students. And it's in large part due to some reflection that I've done with regards to my teaching and to some professional development conferences that I've had the fortunate opportunity to attend. And so right now, the way we would teach is, the traditional model where me, the teacher, is telling students what to learn and how to learn it. And I found that through my reflections, I'm doing a disservice to my kids, especially now that they have technology available to them at their fingertips every single day. And so this model that we're going to be shifting into starting next week is called personalized learning. And so here I just want to ask you some reflective questions so that you get a better idea of what it is and why we're doing it, and then fill you in on what it's going to look like for your students. So just think about these things really quick. What is the most memorable learning experience that you ever had, whether it was in school or outside of school? Chances are that in that learning experience, you were doing something hands-on, you were doing something that interested you, and you had some struggles and failures along the way. It wasn't somebody telling you what to do, exactly how to do it, and you taking a test at the end to show that you've learned it. There's multiple ways to learn the same thing. And when you think about it too, we all learn in different ways. Some of us are visual learners, auditory learners. Some of us just like to read and write. Others of us like to do things. And in the traditional model of school, me, the teacher, tells students what I think is the best way for them to learn something. And I kind of put them in this box. And I don't let them go outside of that box because I'm just giving them what I think they need, when they may need more or they may need less. And so when you think about it, what is the purpose of school? And I think we all have the same perception that school is meant to help students be successful outside of what they do in the classroom, to help them be successful in their futures and in their careers. And so when you think about that and you think about how the world is changing, we realize that maybe biology isn't something that your student is interested in outside of here, even though it's necessary that they learn biology for curriculum's sake and for the state test sake and things like that. That's not the most important thing. Biology isn't always at the forefront of every student's mind. However, there are skills that students need in order to be successful outside of what we do here in the classroom. Skills like reading, writing, collaborating with classmates, creating, innovating, questioning, analyzing data, and performing scientific experiments and investigations. Those are all essential skills that students need regardless of where they go and what they do in their future to be successful, thoughtful, creative individuals. And so we need to shift what we do in the classroom from being content-based and teacher-driven to skills-based and student-driven. And so when you think about what the role of a student is, traditionally it's to learn, to sit, to listen, to write, to take tests. And those aren't all skill-driven things. Those aren't things that are necessarily going to help your student in their future. However, if I could teach a student the skills necessary to teach themselves, if I could teach them the skills of reading, writing, collaborating, all of those things that we talked about before, their role as a student changes from student to teacher. They can teach themselves anything they want, anything in the world, if they have those skills. I actually had the opportunity to talk to a young man at the age of 17 who's a multimillionaire, and he's making movies, and he had never taken a class on how to do cinematography. He learned everything that he knows through YouTube and Twitter, and he's making millions. That just tells me that a student, if they have the essential skills, can learn anything. My job as a teacher is to be a facilitator to that learning. So their learning experience shifts from teacher-based to personalized. It's based on their wonders and interests. Their focus is on skills, and we're really focusing on preparing them for their future. So watch this quick film and it will give you a little bit of insight as to what our classroom might be looking like. And so when we think about school, we need school to look more like the business world. We need school to look more like what our students are going to encounter once they leave our doors. And when we go into this personalized learning model and we ask students to work in small groups and to explore and to collaborate, that's what happens. That's the power that we give those students. And so you think about it, and everybody has their favorite teacher and their best teacher. And I'm here to tell you today that that's probably not who your best teacher is. That was just a person that was able to get you interested in learning, as a person that was able to tell you that you are capable of doing anything. In reality, you are your own best teacher because every single day you experience thousands and thousands of stimuli. And when you experience those things, you're the one that gets to determine if it's interesting to you. You're the one that gets to determine if it's going to impact your life. You're the one that gets to make the choice of whether you're going to move on or if you're going to stop and investigate. It doesn't matter how much somebody knows or how good of a teacher they are if you're not interested. So you make the choice of how to learn, what to learn, and whether or not it's going to impact you in the future. So the shift in the classroom and the shift in my thinking are because of these things. What I used to think is that there was a right pace for learning for everybody. I also used to think that I knew what was best for each and every individual to learn, and I knew exactly how they should best learn it, and that students always needed me to teach them so that they could learn. But now I think this, that learning can happen anytime, anywhere, at any pace. Some students might fly through things. Some students might need more time on different concepts. Students know how students learn best, and if they don't, it's my job to teach them and help them identify how they learn best. And it's my job to provide students with resources and help them build skills so that they can use those resources to effectively teach themselves. It's my job to create lifelong learners, people who can investigate, engage, interpret, explore things on their own, because they're not always going to have a teacher by their side. At least they're not going to have a teacher one-on-one by their side. But when you look at it, you look at the world of social media and digital media, there are millions of other teachers out there. Our students just need to know how to access those teachers and how to analyze the things that are provided to them and ensure that the information that they're engaging in is accurate. And so just a couple of these numbers are astounding and will really show you why it's more beneficial for me as a teacher to teach students skills to learn from other people than to just teach them one-on-one and have them rely on me as their sole source of information. So as you can see, they have thousands of other teachers, millions of other teachers available to them every second of every day. I just need to teach them how to successfully use those teachers to help them engage in their own learning. So it's no longer this, me the teacher pouring information into the brains of students to fill them up. Because this information that I'm giving them is limited to what I think they would need to know. But now it's this. It's students who are individuals and have individual goals and aspirations and know where they want to go in the future. Being able to ask the questions and have the ability and skills to access the resources from around the world. And they can make millions and millions of connections with millions and millions of people and grow as a learner at their own pace and learn about the things that are of interest to them. But along the way, they're going to build the essential skills that allow them to be successful. And so this turns into a tool and not a toy. And we are continuously working with students on building this understanding and teaching them how to use this to be successful in their everyday life. Because this tool allows them to have access to resources and connect with a wealth of knowledge that they've never had access to before. It teaches them to become a more efficient student, to set goals, to self-monitor, to create reminders and calendars and all of the things that you have to do at home as a business professional, and to provide alternative ways for them to share and show their knowledge with other people that they would otherwise not have relationships with. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me back. But I'm really excited to know about and hear about what students are thinking about this, and also to see what they are capable of and see how far they progress as the year goes on.